Hey everyone, and welcome back to Niche Science, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. My name is Ronnie, and today I want to talk to you about a theory that I've been thinking about regarding Marvel Spider-Man 2 and who Venom might actually be. We already know, and it's been confirmed, that Eddie Brock will not be Venom in the game. And this was confirmed by Brian Intihar himself, the lead creative director for Marvel Spider-Man 2, and he has been the lead creative director from the previous Marvel Spider-Man as well. So before I continue on with my theory, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I talk about mainly Marvel Spider-Man 2 content here on the channel, and of course I talk about other things like the MCU and what's going on with the MCU and castings and announcements and whatnot. I do that less often, but I still do that. And also be sure to follow me on my social media, which you can also find the links to down in the description box below. And without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about this. So as always, a lot of people have jumped to the conclusion that Harry Osborne is in fact Venom. Well, not me. And I have reason to believe that it's just not that simple, and Harry Osborne will not be Venom at all. We won't see him turn into the monstrous form that we know is Venom. And the reason why I believe that is because if you really think about the logistics behind this, I think Harry Osborne is using the symbiote suit as more of a life support device rather than it manifesting into the monstrous creature that we know as Venom. Let me explain a little bit more. I believe that Harry will be able to get through his daily life and do his day-to-day things like go out, socialize, run some errands while actually being bonded with the symbiote. But I don't think it's going to manifest into anything further, only because Harry doesn't have any hatred within him. He doesn't hate Spider-Man, and he's just simply too weak to be able to withstand that manifestation of the monster, Venom. And I believe that once Harry Osborne comes into contact with Spider-Man eventually, or maybe crosses paths with like the Lizard or Spider-Man, I feel like knowing anything about the behavior of the symbiote, and if we've learned anything from before, the symbiote tends to be attractive to a lot of people who are strong, or they feel like they have a strong bond with the host, this host being human. If they feel like there's a strong bond there and there's a connection, they'd easily leave their existing host and pass on to the other one. And this has been evident in the comics, and assuming that Insomniac is going to follow some of those small details from the comics or animated series, I think that's going to happen, where the symbiote will just leave the host being Harry Osborne. Harry Osborne, as a result, will resume to being sick again to the point where he dies near the end of the game. Of course, this sets off Norman Osborn and going into like a frenzy and insane and just going mad and probably eventually becoming the Green Goblin, which is a conversation for another time. I think the symbiote will pass on to Kraven. Let me explain a little bit more. I believe at some point and multiple occasions, there will be a couple of altercations that will occur with Kraven, US Spider-Man, and fighting Kraven here and there. Of course, I think your first interaction with Kraven will be with you without the symbiote, and eventually you will get attached to the symbiote, as we saw in the 12-minute gameplay trailer from the PlayStation Showcase. I believe that at some point, being that Kraven has nothing but the cravings and the desire to find a match to, I guess, suit his needs for an even match or an equal at this point, Kraven's gonna feel like he's found his match in Spider-Man with the black suit, because not only does he feel like Spider-Man will be an actual match or an equal to him, but I think he's gonna get very frustrated to the point where like he's gonna need something to up his ante, to kind of upgrade him. And I feel like being that Kraven, in the physique that he's in, where he's very powerful, he's very strong, I think the symbiote will latch off of Peter Parker at some point, whether he gets rid of it using a church bell tower or perhaps some technology. Even though Kraven's not powered by technology, there is probably a little bit of tech in those guns and swords that we saw in the concept art. Who knows, Kraven might perhaps take the time to study Spider-Man and realize that there's something consuming him, or there's something latched onto him. He'll also probably find a way to get it off of Spider-Man. He'll find a weakness. And I think all of that is part of a hunter's role, to study the prey. And perhaps in a future altercation or future battle with Spider-Man, Kraven will use that technology to his advantage, because he'll realize that Spider-Man has something on him that's making him really powerful and making it very difficult for Kraven to subdue. And I think he's going to use that technology to take off whatever is on Spider-Man. In this case, we as the audience know it's a symbiote, but to Kraven, it's going to intrigue him. Kraven's going to be like, I want what he has. I think this will make me even more powerful. Because aside from Kraven wanting to be an equal, I think Kraven's also going to want power, meaning that he wants to be able to beat anybody. And I think Kraven's going to use his advanced technology to take or remove the symbiote off of him, and he'll just let it consume him, and then he'll become the monstrous Venom that we know. Now, Brian Intar didn't mention that all of the qualities or everything that we know about Venom will still remain there. But who is Venom and the reason behind it, we just don't know. And we'll just have to find out when we play. And that's my theory about who Venom actually is. But then you may be saying, but Ronnie, Kraven cannot be Venom. There are two villains in the game, Venom and Kraven. Also, in the first initial teaser trailer that we got from Marvel Spider-Man 2, it shows Kraven having a monologue, or he's saying, will one of you finally bring me what I desire? To Venom's response in the dark alley, he says, yes, we will. So how is Kraven talking to himself? What are you, an idiot? Well, I gotta tell you something, and I think you already know this, but there's a little thing called clever editing. Insomniac has shown this in the past. You all remember the first Peggy trailer that we got, and Peggy meaning like the rating that I guess Australia gets. It was like a 5 or 3 minute trailer or something where Norman Osborn says, Peter Parker, how the hell are you? And before we see Norman Osborn ask that question, we see a beaten up Peter Parker walking into the room without a mask, leading us to believe that Norman Osborn is greeting Peter Parker and he already knows who Peter Parker is. Again, that's just one of Insomniac Games' clever editing. I think Insomniac Games is using their clever editing techniques to lead us to believe that someone else is Venom and Kraven is not. Insomniac Games has said and stated that this is a totally original story. Of course, there's going to be some fan service, especially for us comic book reader fans or Spidey fans in this case. There's going to be a lot of fan service and Easter eggs for us to pick up on. But ultimately, this will be an entirely, totally new original story. I feel like some adaptations of the Kraven's Last Hunt will be picked up on and it'll be adapted into this game. And I feel like Kraven might commit suicide after the fact that the Venom symbiote has latched off of him at some point, because he probably finally got what he desired, power, finding an equal, and he's completely satisfied. I think he might ultimately take his own life at the very end of the game, but that's also another theory that I have cooked up in my head. And not to sound like I'm tooting my own horn here, but I have been right about a couple of things. If you follow my channel for quite some time, you would know that my theory for the longest time about the release date has been October, only because the first game came out in September of 2018, Miles Morales came out in November of 2020, and it would make sense to fill the gap and to have one of the sequels come out in October. Now, being that Venom is in the game and the sequel is overall darker in tone, it kind of matches that Halloween theme. This game is literally coming out 11 days before Halloween time, and it's the perfect, suitable time to release a game of such a theme like that. I was right about that. Also, if you caught one of my shorts, I believe it's titled What Kind of Collector's Edition We Can Expect from Marvel Spider-Man 2. I had a theory that we would get a Venom statue with Spider-Man fighting him, but as it turns out, it's true. Only the detail here is that it's 19 inches, and it's not just Peter Parker Spider-Man fighting Venom. It's both Peter Parker Spider-Man and Miles Morales Spider-Man fighting Venom, and it was really close. So I was right about a couple of things. An October release and an actual collector's edition statue featuring Venom. So I feel like I have a 2 for 2 here, and this theory that I cooked up about Venom being Kraven is probably going to be a 3 for 3. Now, if I'm wrong, I'll totally take accountability and just say, yeah, sure, I was wrong. But hey, it's a theory, and I actually am having a lot of fun cooking up this theory. And I want to open the doors to you guys, and I hope you can respond to this theory respectfully. Please don't be mean about it, and please don't insult me, but definitely let me know if you agree or whether you disagree, and tell me why. I'm going to open the doors to you guys, and the comment section is completely open for you to discuss and lay out your most craziest, outlandish theories or whatever. I am open to read all of your theories. Just be very mindful and respectful, okay? And that's pretty much all I got for you today, guys. Thank you so much for allowing me to take this time to share my thoughts and theories about who Venom is, because this is a total mystery. But when you think about it, after everything I explained, it kind of lines up and it sort of makes sense if you really think about it. But again, this is only just my opinion. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell notifications so y'all don't miss anything. And as always, I will see you all in the next comic panel.
Will one of you finally give me what I desire? Yes. We will.
PlayStation